Okay, welcome back to the I Read a New podcast. We have not reached our goals yet, but we're in the process of doing that, and we wanted to provide you guys with some insight and hopefully some inspiration to start chasing your own dreams in the meantime. I'm very excited about this new guest. I'm going to do a quick intro and hopefully I do her some justice. This girl is someone I can call a good friend of mine. She's been on Ninja Warrior Australia. She's now transitioned into CrossFit. She's a super mum of 2 and she's just an all-round sick chick. So please welcome Tash Sergi.
Yeah.
Welcome on the pod.
Good intro.
You doing good?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. I've been meaning to get you on for a long time, and just glad to call you a friend. So it's sick to have you on here finally, and thanks for teeing it up. You're a busy person, hey. So we had to go a bit back and forth to get this to happen, but
busy, but always make time for legends like you. So.
Appreciate you. I want to jump straight into it. You are a go-getter, and I've got a little story before I even finish off this question. We used to do a lot of running together, and you would keep up with me and our mate Fox on the trails, and sometimes we'd get away from you a bit on the uphills. And I remember like a big thing with you is you just come bolting down the downhills and be like, fucking come on boys, keep up. So you've always just been that go-getter. That's why I say that, and I want to know if you've always been like that, or if you kind of taught yourself that. Were you taught that by parents? Where did that come from?
I feel like that has been in me since I can remember. Since going way back, even in primary school, I remember having that attitude just with like everything that I've done in my life. You know how much sport I've played. I used to, God, this is going way back in primary school. I used to be a dancer, and I was the most unflexible kid in the class. And every night when Mum would put me to bed, I would, as soon as she thought I was asleep, jump up and I would start stretching for like an hour in the dark on my floor. Yeah. Just doing like little extras like that.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but yeah, something like, I don't know.
Do you think it was a anxiety as a kid maybe, where you wanted to be better, or you just wanted
anxiety.
To be...
Just that hunger to always...
You were like, I can do better.
Yeah,
Naturally competitive,
but knowing that you can do better. No one's born with supers.
Yeah.
And the people who are doing great things, it's the amount of effort and the time that they've put in to get to where they are, right? Yeah. And no one else is going to do it for you. So just realising that, and then, you've got to step up and do that yourself. Do it yourself, and I think, everything, I've been like that with everything in my life, with my business and my personal life, and then obviously any sports,
That's such a good parlay into what I wanted to tell you guys as well, is we talked about this before the podcast, and I said to Tash, rather than talking about things that you've done, and not to get me wrong, they're all amazing, but a lot of that is manifested from that mindset, like you said, of just going out and switching your perspective on things to go out, and then that transforms into the things that you've done, so I want to really dive into that mindset today,
mindset is everything.
Those things that you've done. So that's sick. So always been like that. Then you kind of did track, and you've always just been athletic and always been competitive in that sense, I guess. Hey.
So God, growing up, played a lot of football. But I love telling this. I remember this is another story from primary school. Yeah. Because I feel like when you've got that mindset, when you want to do better, you've got to kind of break the rules, and you've got to do your own thing and not be afraid to fail when you do it. And I remember in primary school, we were doing it was nationals, and we had the 800 metre race for the school. Yeah. And one of the moms came up to me, and she used to coach one of the other kids. And I don't know if she was being competitive, trying to put me off, or if she was just giving me some advice. But she said, Tash, don't go out hard because you'll end up getting tired too early. She's like, you need to pace yourself. And I don't know why I always remember this, but since she walked away, I was like, nah.
I'm sending it.
And I was like, I'm running my own race. I went out so hard, and I beat all the other girls by a whole lap. And I felt good. And I was like, so my point is, like, you got to back yourself, and you've got to... not be afraid to, like, don't always do what society expects of you. Back yourself, and don't be afraid to step up and be different. Because when you do that, that's when, you really achieve more.
And just almost taking a leap of faith sometimes.
And have that mindset to do it. And I love that Even though, yeah, I like that you brought that up of the running. Even though I was dying, I was like, I'm still going to catch it.
And then you did. Every time, hey, I still remember just like, fuck. Because even Fox better than me on the downhill. So I knew that was a thing. And you guys, I think, like deep down knew that as well. So you're like, I'm going to get him on those downhills. So every time you're always coming through, it was cool memories.
And you guys are legends bringing me on those runs as well.
Oh, it was so epic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When you do have your sessions that you've been training for, and you know better than anyone, like a lot of sessions you're just like, I cannot be fucked today.
Yeah.
Do you have some kind of a technique or a mental approach to it where you're like, this is going to get me through, or you just end up, you don't really know what happens and you just do it?
Yeah, you like, obviously it's smart to listen to your body. Like, you're going to have days where you have been training a lot and where you do need to deload. But then when there's also days where you don't want to show up, I always show up. Yeah. No matter what.
Just get something done.
Yeah, on my alarm on my phone, because I do a lot of 5 a.m. sessions, and they're hard to get up. Because I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so
no one wants to do that.
No one wants to do it, but because I work PTs back to back all day, and then I've got 2 kids.
Got to do it.
If I don't make those sessions, I've missed my whole training session, and I'm so determined to do better. So that's like a no-brainer. But you can put notes on your alarm.
Yeah. Mine's get up, bitch.
Stop
being a pussy. Sometimes I change it.
Now you've made me forgot mine. Hang on. What is
that's
mine?
Alright.
I've got 2. Hang on, because there's 2. My 4 o'clock alarm. Nothing worth having comes easy.
Yeah.
And every time I read that, I'm like, yep. Because you wake up and you think, this is hard, I don't want to get up, I want to go back to sleep. But nothing worth having comes easy. And then as soon as I read that, I've just hit snooze. And then you think about it. And I'll sleep for 5 more minutes, but then I'll get up. And my 5:30, get it done, no excuses.
Just get it done.
Just like little reminders of why you're doing it, and just to keep it in check. But,
it pushes you through, hey?
Yeah.
And what about for people? I feel like this is a lot more typical for girls now, even though in the gym space it's kind of going away and dissipating, which is great. They struggle to get in for their first sessions, and just get started. And me and Jay were talking about pretty much in all the episodes, is a lot of it is just starting with shit.
Yeah.
So girls specifically, do you have any pointers? I'm sure you've talked about this with a lot of your clients before. Pointers to just get them started and get the ball rolling, and maybe approaches to take to that.
Yeah, I love this question. So you know how you're saying, have I been like that my whole life? So another sport I played was baseball. This is going back in my early 20s. And I was dating a guy at the time who used to play for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
And I went along to watch one of his games, and we watched the females play, and the girls that were playing, I was watching going, yeah, I could do that. Never thrown a ball in my life. Went to the first session and I was like shot putting the ball, and I was like, all right, got some work to do.
Yeah.
And then I straight away left that, and we were practicing. I was just back and forth throwing. I was like, teach me the technique. Okay.
Yep.
Where do you need strength for that? I went to the gym, did the strength for that. In the first year, I ended up getting coach's award.
Yep.
And then the second year of playing, I got MVP for and got selected for the All-Stars game.
Nuts, yeah. It's always been something you've done, isn't it?
Just get better mentality, hey, and then just get to those limits.
Yeah, so my point is, like, anything that you do and that you start, and I say this to my kids all the time, no one is good at anything at the start.
Yeah.
But but hard work will always outdo talent. So if you really, no excuses, if you put in the effort and work for it, you'll get it done. And I try and get that through my all my females' heads as well. I train a lot of strong girls, but they weren't strong when they started.
Yeah, it's all just that
mindset
to loss, more specifically mindset to like failure. Because you get that. And you can go 2 ways when you get that first bit of failure as, oh, this is not meant for me, I'm shit at it.
Yeah.
Or you can go the other way of, no, I'll probably be better if I just give it another 1,000 goes.
I've got a client who has lost 20 kilos with me twice.
Fuck.
That's hard work, man.
Yeah.
And the first time that she did it, she couldn't even run 10 metres. She did the last red dust.
Yep.
And then, so the first time she lost it, she went and she had a baby, so I put it back on. But then the second time she came back, I hadn't seen her for a while, and she started training on her own, and she came to me, and in our first session, I don't even think we trained. She gave me about 20 excuses of why she couldn't train, couldn't do this.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was kind of like, all right, I just listened and I said, all right. And I was raw with it, and I said, so everything you've told me is an excuse.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, you can change all this, because we are creatures of habit. We all live, everything we do is a habit that we've created, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So she created all these little habits, and in her head she'd believed that, okay, well, I can't do that because I'm doing this.
Because it is,
well,
yeah.
you can.
It's just a habit, yeah.
But you've got to be willing to make changes.
Yeah.
And then you've got to, and you've got to go through those changes, and you've got to be disciplined enough to go through until those changes become a new habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And give it time for the
and give it
become the habit.
time. Yeah. This chick is such a different chick now, and like we laugh about all those excuses that she gave me.
Yeah, you do, hey.
Yeah, so it's just about believing in yourself, and you know, realizing that change is okay, and yes, it's scary.
Yep.
But if you really want something, you can go out there and get it, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing for a lot of people, isn't it? It's just scary. Like, it's out of the comfort zone, something new. And if you can realise that and realise that on the other side of that is something so positive and so rewarding, that, you know, you'll be better off.
And not being afraid of failure, because you'll fail a million times. And that's when people normally stop, and they'll go, no, I can't do this. I'm not good enough for this. And that's when all the excuses come back in.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the amount of times that I failed on Ninja, or like I've been learning, at the moment I'm learning Olympic weightlifting, which is very humbling, because
it is, isn't it?
I've trained in the gym since I was 16.
Yeah.
And I've never been so stumped by something.
Picks apart every bit of your mobility and strength, doesn't it? And coordination and everything.
But I'm here for the journey, and I will keep working at it, because I know that I will achieve it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? So not all goals have to be that short term, that quick fix. You know, you will get if you work towards something.
Yeah, epic. I want to go into, you brought it up, the Ninja a little bit more. Yeah. Because that's what made me such a big fan of you, to be honest, is seeing you on there, and I was like, this is nuts.
Fangirling over me.
Yeah, I literally was. Hey, it was such a big thing to me, and it's a shame that this year it's not going ahead, I don't think.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was just cool to see you in that light and see you apply yourself to something that crazy, and on a national scale as well. Did you feel that pressure on when you were training for it, when you were there, or?
Yes and no. Like anything that you do, and especially like when you're filming on that scale on TV, like you're gonna have your nerves, but nerves are good, and it's how you harness your nerves and how you control them. I went
and did NCL, and that was similar thing for me, where I just never seen like those big lights before, because I had like a big lighting set up to put it on you, and then the lights made you hot, and then I was like, am I hot because I'm nervous, or because of the lights and the cameras and everything? And this is, by the way, nowhere near the scale they have it on Ninja. It was far smaller, because I've seen the behind the scenes for Ninja, and it just got me, like my legs were shaking and all this, and again, like you said, it's just that mindset and maybe a bit of experience as well.
I remember the first time on the show, it was like an out of body feeling, because like same sort of thing. And then but confidence, the more that you do something, it gives you that confidence, and then the more you have that confidence, the more you can relax, because it's and so I would just throw myself in every single competition, all the backyard ones. It'd always be around doing extra training, any sort of ninja comp I'd throw myself into.
Just get into it, yeah.
And then when you're on the show, the mindset that you've got to be in is, because it happens so quick, you don't have time to slow it down and to and be careful, because as soon as you do, you're out.
Yeah.
So you have to just completely, everything up to that moment, you have to back yourself, and you have to back your training, and trust that your body is going to know what to do. So then I would go through and look at the obstacles, and I would create a plan, and then in that plan I would then walk through and visualize me doing every little thing. Left hand's going here, right hand's going there, land 2 feet here. I'm going to rest there. I'm going to wipe my feet here. I would go through it. And I'd go through it like 3 times. And then I'd even visualize myself going up the wall and like celebrating and how I would feel and stuff. And
cool.
I would visualize the whole thing. So when it was time to go out there, I've already run this 3 times in my head. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So then I was relaxed. And then I would just have fun, smile. And then when that buzzer went, it was like you've done it and you just trust yourself.
Just go.
Yeah, because your body, when you've trained it that much, it's like when you learn to dance, you see the dancers on stage. They don't stop and think about the moves. Their body knows what to do in those. So
just muscle memory.
Muscle memory. So so
it's interesting that you say that because there's this quote floating around. It's the brain can't comprehend the negative. So if you're like, don't think about this or don't do this, then you're going to do it. And it's like slalom skiers. If they're thinking about don't hit the trees, you're going to hit the tree. But if you're there the whole time of, right, you're going to go through this and this is the path that you're going to take when you do this, and then your legs do this as you go through and all that, you're focusing on the positive, not the negative.
True, yes. I would never ever think about failing.
No.
Because
so beforehand that never came into your head?
Never.
It was always just like, I'll do this, I'll land 2 feet there.
You gotta back yourself.
Be in that right mindset. They put the wrong mindset in there.
And on the other side of the spectrum, you hear some people talking about it, even when they were doing the course. I've heard some ninjas talking about it and they're like, oh fuck, I'm so scared about doing this, and I'm so scared that I'm going to do that, and it's like, maybe that's not the best mindset to take to it, and it's like, this is how I'm going to go about it, this is how I'm going to do it, and everything else doesn't really exist as far as you're concerned. You know?
The last CrossFit comp I did, we it was had to do a heavy squat clean, and it was a weight that I'd never lifted before, but I've been squat cleaning really good lately, and I've been working a lot on building my legs up. And as I went for it, I pulled the bar so high, but then I bailed, and as soon as I bailed, I knew it wasn't because I wasn't strong enough, or it wasn't because I didn't know what I was doing. It was because I was being a bitch and I wasn't getting under that bar. And I stepped back because I had another attempt, and all I said in my head, I just said, get under the bar, get under the bar, get under the bar. And I stepped up and I picked it up and I got under the bar and hit it easy. And so you've got to tell yourself, like, you can't have any doubts, any questions. With you've just got to go for it, and as I said, you've got to back yourself.
Go for it and send it.
Kind of like that back in the day when we ride scooters, and if you ever wanted to try like a backflip or a front flip, you can't sit there and think, I'm not going to make this.
There's no in between with a backflip.
Otherwise you're just going to scorpion, it's going to be a bad time.
I never passed over that slope, you know, there's that point there where I never landed on my neck either, but I never quite got to the point where I did a full backflip. I just kept going, oh yeah, I'm going to do it, and I just never ever sent it.
So before I had kids, I actually used to do, I don't know if you know this, I used to do skateboarding, longboarding.
I didn't know that. It makes sense though. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Do you want to know the name of our crew? We're called the Concrete Corruption.
Oh, look out. Danger.
I had a parkour group called the Gravity Killers.
Oh, stop.
We did a YouTube video. Of us doing it. We all had like our names.
That's classic.
But when we were so we used to go away on these trips down south with the girls, the Concrete Crew, and like we would wear the gloves with the pucks on them. So you know when you go down the hill and you turn the corners with your hands on the ground. And I'd have like full kit on, and then every time we were getting to a downhill, the girls would start slowing down, and they're like, oh, here comes Tash, and I'd be picking up speed to just send it down there.
Holy fuck.
Do you ever come off doing that?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet.
The last time I came off, I was 3 months pregnant with Jackson. So you
drew the line there?
Yeah, drew the line.
Yeah, you're like, shit, time to reel it in.
Time to hang up the wheels.
Damn. I want to talk a little bit about adversity as well, and forgive me for my ignorance on this, but I think it was ovarian cancer that you had.
Yes.
How, 20 years?
Oh, I was 17.
18. Yeah.
And I'm nearly 36, so...
And again, I'm not super educated on this, but is that something that is terminal and can be super dangerous?
Yeah, I was very... It's a silent killer, ovarian cancer. I was very lucky because the way it was picked up, it was just irregular bleeding, and a lot of doctors, when you go there, they would just put you on the pill.
Right.
And I had a really good doctor, and she was pretty onto it. Adversity, it was crazy.
Did it shock you when you were you found out about it?
Nah, I didn't even cry when I found out. My first question was to the doctor was if I was going to die.
Yeah.
And then they were pretty confident that they'd got it early. I had to have my left ovary and fallopian tube removed.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, I started intensive chemotherapy.
Yeah.
So I lost all my hair. I was a little baldy.
Nice.
Yeah, it was funny though. I was training for nationals for touch football.
Yeah.
And the doctors, I would go straight from chemo to my football training.
Yeah.
And I would faint at training.
Yeah.
And because I just didn't want to stop. Like I felt like I didn't want to give in to the disease.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
which is a good thing to be doing. 100%.
Yeah. Everyone used to say to me
this.
like, "You are so positive," and I'm very lucky that I did get through this.
Yeah.
But when you're faced sometimes in those situations, being positive is your only option that you have.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, these are the cards that I've been dealt. Am I going to live the rest of my life being sad and then die?
Yeah.
Or am I going to fight this, take it on, and then, either way I had the same outcome coming for me, right?
Yeah.
So that was my attitude, and I'm so grateful that I got through it. And I think I'm more scared of death now that I'm older because I love life, and I'm always thinking, I can't die now. I want to get on the CrossFit Games now.
Yeah, so much to go. Yeah.
I want to, that's thinking big scale, maybe Masters, obviously.
Oh, I don't think it's that far out of the considering where you've come, and a lot of top CrossFit athletes have been in so many different disciplines and sports. It's not that far-fetched, I don't think.
Yeah, we'll see. But I'm always like, I've got so many goals to achieve now. Yeah.
It's a good mindset to have. Do you reckon that's a big part of what gets you out of bed in the morning as well, if you've got something to tackle?
Definitely. Yeah, I love my job. I love helping people, and I suppose, and I'm grateful I do have a good life. I've got a good family, and I love training, and I'm just a weird, highly motivated individual, and I don't know why, but I've just froth for just always doing better. Yeah,
and it just seems like that's been ingrained in you, and
is.
And I want to try to bring some value to you guys in the sense of, can you ingrain that in yourself? And I think the answer is absolutely yes. If you think of it with that you've got two decisions. Like you said, you either be negative and you die, or you be positive and you die.
You're the same, Sam.
No?
I feel like you've got to want it so bad that you will find a way to make it happen. Because you're either going to find a way or you're going to find an excuse.
Yeah.
And when you want it so bad, you will find a way. Here's another story for you. So you know how I played in the Gridiron Lingerie football team for WA. I was pregnant when I heard about the team coming to WA, and I was like, that's all right, I'll just go down and meet the coaches. And then the day of the tryouts,
that's already saying yes, by the way.
I'll
just go see the coaches. Yeah. Anyway,
you got to be confident in yourself. That's why I said before, you got to back yourself.
Yeah,
you know, if you have doubts, they're gonna have doubts.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be so confident in yourself.
No, it's a good way to be. It's epic. It's so cool.
I might get rejected, but it's like I'm still gonna go in with that confident mindset.
Yeah.
But I went. And I'm not cocky.
No, not at all. No, I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah.
I was just saying, just before you've even gone there, it's a manifestation,
Yeah.
which is what we want to,
Yes.
which is what I was trying to point out, it's absolutely a manifestation, and you're attracting that before you even get into it.
But so I went into labour the day of the tryouts. So
Yeah.
I missed the tryouts, but one of my girlfriends, she went and she made the squad. They selected a squad of, I think it was like 80 that got culled down to 50, and then the final 20. Anyways, I was like, all right, I'll come meet the coaches. So I went down and met the coaches when Jackson was 2 weeks old. And then they wanted to do a fitness test on me after I told them my background. And I said, I've just had a baby. I'll come back. And they said, when can you come back? And I was like, I'm supposed to wait 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Don't recommend this for anyone. But as soon as I left there, I went straight away, started training. And it was just, I obviously built myself up. Like, I went straight to the stairs in Scarborough, and I was running up and down the stairs. Just had to get my legs stronger again. And then, kept training. Anyways, got up to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I went along to one of their, and they fitness tested me, and I went along to one of their training sessions. But the strength and conditioning coach there, it was stupid. He didn't know that I was pregnant, and I was too proud to tell him.
Yeah.
And my God, I had the best poker face because inside I was hurting, but I didn't want him to see my pain. I just wanted him to see how strong I was. Yeah. And I got through it and like smashed it, but inside, like the whole time I just had that mindset. I was just like, I've got to crush this. Yeah. And he didn't know how much I was hurting, but anyways, I made the team, made the squad, and then made the final cut. Which was cool. Yeah.
And you think for some people that aren't in that mindset, do you think it's a matter of just switching? I guess it's different for people, and trying to make some people make that switch or just inspire them to try new things, and then that builds momentum. I'm a big believer in momentum being one of those things as well, where you've done so many things since you were younger, where when you look at a new task, you're like, well, I've done this before, so maybe I can do this as well. And you have that confidence. So I think for some people out there wondering how to do it, I think small steps and building momentum is probably a pretty good place to start as well. And that's what you do with a PT, right? You'd start small, build them up.
Have your big goals, but then obviously you've got to be realistic, and then you got to go, okay, well, if I want to achieve this big goal, I need to break this down. So you have your small goals and you work out a plan of how you're going to get there. You know, so and that's with any new sports that I've done, same sort of thing. Okay, where am I lacking the strength? So what do I need to train? How, why can't I do that? Okay, well, I'm strong enough, but I don't understand the movement. So like with every single sport that I've done, I've actually gone out and got a one-on-one coach for myself. To better myself.
To just break it down, take it one step at a time.
They can put the plan out in front of you, so it's easy for you to execute as the athlete.
I believe all good coaches need a coach. And
true.
Facts, big facts.
And because you can never stop learning. The day that you think that you can stop learning, you've just ruined yourself there.
You've plateaued. You're either going up or you're staying the same, aren't you? Yeah, that's epic. We have a segment at the end of every podcast where we kind of voice our goals to people, and me and Jay have just been saying the same ones every time, but we like to talk about how they've been going or how we've made them better or how we've improved them, and we have a few rules behind it. And the first one is that it has to be some kind of concrete goal. You know, it can't just be get better at squats. You know, it's got to be something.
You know what I call them?
What's that?
You know what I call them?
What?
Your non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables, yeah.
Yeah, and you set them around your goals. They're just something that you got to set in place.
That gets you to that.
Yeah, it's a non-negotiable. Okay, well, if I want to get that goal, what are my non-negotiables that I have to do that's going to get me to that goal? I'll start with mine. Mine was I want 50k followers on either YouTube, TikTok, or Insta. By the end of the year, and 250k streams by the end of the year, and my non-negotiables, we haven't put them like that yet, but that's actually kind of cool. My non-negotiables are 3 TikToks per day that provide context around the music, and now I've actually scheduled that on my computer or on a website called Buffer to do it on all social media platforms. Wicked.
So to hopefully build that up, and I know sometimes it's a weird thing to focus on just followers, but for me it's something that will hopefully convert to streams and then give me that ultimate goal.
But you're trying and you're putting yourself out there.
That's it, hey.
And if it doesn't work, then you'll try something else, but there's no harm in trying, right?
Yeah.
But I guess my non-negotiables that I've actively been doing is more than that's just networking with gyms twice a month. That's us getting out to these different gyms. And then I kind of actively keep in touch with PTs and, hey, get your clients in, we'll give you a discount, things like that. And then on top of that, just like top tier, like customer service. Like, given I do a bit of coaching myself, I think it's handy me being in a shop like that, because every person that comes in, that's where I'm looking at it from. Is like, if you were my client, how can I help you? So let me give you more value than a supplement, but like lifestyle tools, like anything to kind of help you with your thing. And I think that ends up that momentum with people coming in more, because like it's more than just a, hey, here's a good sup for you, but like, no, here's what to do with it, and here's what to do outside
translate
of that
into a bit more value.
And you know what you guys are doing? You're putting yourself out there. And that, because a lot of people people like to live in the comfort zone, and when you step out of that comfort zone, people don't like it. And but you've got to be uncomfortable. Like you're getting your face on social media 3 times a day. You know, you're putting yourself out there. This is extra effort, and it's not stuff that, like, you know, you don't know when you put yourself out there, you don't know how it's going to go,
how it's going to get received.
But as you said, you're creating that momentum.
Big time.
And I'm a big believer in that as well.
Well,
I like that.
And maybe we haven't given you enough time. Sometimes we tell the guests beforehand, but if you can come up with anything to tell people to give them inspiration for it. I've got one of yours that I could think of that is very concrete, but I'll see what you say and then I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, go.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah, go.
Oh, well, you just told me you want to make CrossFit Games. So that's a big goal.
Anything that I've ever done, so hang on, let me rephrase that. All my training, I've never trained to look a certain way. That's not me. I train purely for performance. Yeah. And now that I'm doing CrossFit, yes, I've missed the boat of, the games where you're up against like all the big dogs. Yeah. But I do believe one day that I could make the Masters in CrossFit Games. Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Why not? Put yourself out there. And I've been working really hard on my training. I've got my private coach. Yeah. And I actually have been doing really well. So I've only been doing it for just over a year. Yeah. And I've just made quarterfinals in the Open, which is really cool. You know what, actually, and this is going back to what we were saying before about putting yourself out there and not being afraid. When I first started CrossFit a year ago, I threw myself straight away into a comp, and I'd only been doing it, I think, for like 6 weeks. Yeah, I think I remember, hey. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's a bit soon. I did not know what I was doing, and they had beginners, intermediate and RX, and I was like, okay, well, beginners, like, I know I can do everything in it. Intermediate's going to challenge me, but if I don't, why would I do something I know that I could do? Challenge myself. Yeah. And I think I came like 16th or something in the comp. And then I've done last year, I can't remember, I think I've done like 8 comps now. Yeah. The last few I've podiumed, and I actually podiumed. I came second in the last one for RX, which is the top league. Did you? Yeah. Nuts. Yeah. So my point is, I wasn't afraid of. I knew I was going to suck in the first one, but I also knew the gains I was going to get out of it, and I knew the experience, and exactly, and and how much it was going to improve me. Like, you can't beat competition. Yep. And then each time I would take that into training, and I would have that mindset where I was in a comp and I would push myself harder, and then where I was weak at on my own, I would, outside the classes or whatever my coach has given me, I would work on it on my own. I wouldn't wait for someone else to train. You got to do it yourself. And so I just kept working on myself, and so it's slowly improving. It seems that you do this like subconsciously, but this is a really good way for people at home to think about it, is the amount that it's sucking at the time is actually probably giving you a lot more gains than the amount something is feeling good when you are good at it. So if you're doing really, really bad, and if you flip that perspective into, oh, this sucks so bad, to, but I'm going to get so much better at this after going through this amount of suck. Yes. You're going to be so much better off. You've got to go through the suck. Yeah. There's a lot of suck to get to the top. Yeah. We're going to leave it on that. A lot of suck to get to the top. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to give you a knuckles. Leave it at that. Come on, we got to. But thank you for coming on. We appreciate you so much. Guys. I appreciate you just as a friend, just having you around. I love you, Sam. You're a legend, and like, I can't speak highly enough of you. Yeah, I feel like you have a very similar mindset to me. Yeah, for sure. With everything. That's why I'm drawn to you, because you are just like the same. You froth to do better at anything, and you will do really good. And like, look at the OCR. It's good. It's coming up in 6 weeks. I know you're not coming, but I'm not doing it. Yeah, I know. But still, I'm training hard and I'm feeling good. And I think there's some guys coming over from like that weekend where you and I took out the 5K, 10K, and 15K. Because such a cool memory of mine. We trained so hard together. No one knows the effort that we put into our training, and like the reward that you get when you work so hard to all that suck for that reward. All that suck for that reward. It makes it. There's a lot of suck, but it makes it worth it. And I just remember hugging you, and I just thought I was just so proud of you, like a little brother. You know, you work hard too. Of mine. Yeah, same. Yeah, it was awesome. And I hope to make more with you. So yes. I'm sure we'll have you back on sometimes as well if you would like to come back on. Yeah, hell yeah. We, as a podcast, me and Jay, wish you the best in whatever you got coming up. Thank you. Have you got anything you want to talk about, plugging yourself, promotion-wise, what's coming up? Just keep chasing your dreams, guys, and don't be afraid to fail, and just keep putting yourself out there. As I said, like, it's not, everything is hard. that we start until you can do it. So, and you'll fail a million times. So yeah, just keep in that mindset that have your plan and just keep backing yourself. You know?
Epic.
Yeah, awesome. You guys are legends.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you to you guys. Let us know if you like this one and if you'd like to have Tash back, because we would love to have it back. That's it. Peace out. See you later.
You.